Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Mindset Monday here at Free Daily Coaching. For those that are just joining us, good morning and welcome. For those that are watching on YouTube, you may want to visit us over at www.freedailycoaching.com. So for those of you that are aware, here at Free Daily Coaching, we've been doing some revisions and some revamping. We've also been doing some setting up some new video service with the video company. And hopefully this morning, they're overseas. So hopefully there's a little bit of a time delay. So hopefully this morning we'll get that worked out with them to be able to have our new live streaming service from the telephone. And then also our private coaching calls will be secure. And so we took a break in the month of March while we're getting all of the the streaming services set up, and also to give us a little bit of time to get everything built and prepared for the rest of the year. Yeah, as you can see, Len had put that I have a hole in my head. Not yesterday, but the day before on Saturday, I hit my head pretty good with a pile driver. So yesterday and probably most of today, I was thinking about, it was a good amount of snow last night up in the mountains behind the house. So I was thinking about trying to go snowboarding, but I really don't feel that well the last 2 days. I just been kind of slow. And especially yesterday, I hit my head pretty good on Saturday. And when I did, I just kind of took like a minute or two and then finished the project that I was working on. So yesterday it kind of caught up to me, and I didn't feel so good. So today was the same thing. I really want to go play in the snow, but I also don't want to wreck myself because there's a lot of things coming up. We have a big weekend planned, and so I need to get some things done around the house to make that happen. So for our call here this morning on a Mindset Monday, what's the mindset? And this is a question for all of us, is what's your mindset in your business, and are you ready and willing to move forward in your business? And are you willing to do that despite sometimes some setbacks? And see, in my business, in our business, we have multiple different projects going. The camera project, we've got a fencing project, we've got an animal locating project, right? So there's 4 or 5 projects we have going just for the ranch. And that's just one, or 4 or 5 sub items. And that's just one project, is the building out the Goat Village part. Then you have other parts of that project of Jessica's, which is like soap making and soap creation and bath fuzzies and all of the supporting product line. And then in addition to that, you have to add in all of the current online projects that we have going currently, and then things that we're going to be starting. So when you add all of those things in, you get quite a full plate. So the mindset and the motivation part of it behind that is to be able to focus and refocus on a regular basis and go, okay, what is it that I'm doing? How am I moving forward? What am I doing on a regular basis to move forward in each of these areas so that I can actually make progress each and every day on a regular basis? What does that look like? So that was the idea behind this mindset call, is, there's always going to be challenges and obstacles. And this week we had a physical obstacle, right? There was a physical challenge that got in my way, and it was a limiting factor of myself, right? It was the factor of myself damaging, and you can't really see, it looks pretty good right now. That's just a little dried blood, across where it's oxidized. So it's not really that big, but you can see a little bit how swollen it still is there, kind of from that view. Still got a little bit of swelling. So I hit my head pretty good, which probably gave me a concussion, which means that I should probably slow down a bit and take some time, right? So yesterday I just took some time just to kind of rest. My wife and I did some things in the morning, just a few things, and that was it. And then the same for today, right? Even though I want to do a lot of things, like there's, you know, the day before yesterday, the day that I hit my head, I got a lot done, right? A lot. And I wanted to continue that pattern and keep doing a couple, you know, a week or two's worth of work like that to really knock a bunch of projects out and get a bunch of things done. What happened in that process was I got hurt. There was an obstacle. So in this case, this obstacle was a time obstacle. So what do I have to do? I have to let time expire to get healthy. So I have to give myself a couple of days, right, to get my head back so that I can think clearly, so it's not foggy, so I'm operating right. Well, what could I do to make sure that happens? Well, one thing is not go play in the snow. Why? Because I know that when I go play in the snow, I'm going to tumble around. So the chances of me knocking my head around again is, you know, there's a good chance that I'm probably going to smack my head again, especially because there's a lot of powder up there. So that means I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to jump into things that I probably shouldn't. And when I do, I'm going to do some somersaults. And when I do those somersaults, there's a chance I can, you know, knock my head. So I want to stay in the game for a bigger play. So I have to recognize, okay, there's a time where I'm going to have to step back, or to throttle back, take a little break, right? Allow myself to heal. And when I do that, I can then refocus. And so it's not taking all of excuse me, it's not taking all of my energy away from one area. It's just saying, hey, I'm going to refocus this energy at the current time over in another area and divert the energy to accomplish another goal while this one is on pause. And it doesn't mean that I'm stopping that. It just means that I'm taking a break. And what I've noticed is a lot of times for many of us, it's hard to then come back and circle back and refocus. Once we're focused on something and an obstacle comes, we take the break or we find the solution. We come over here and we're working on this, you know, something else. What happens is this gets left in the wayside. Project number one gets left and never finished. And so finding adequate solutions to be able to always come back to that project, to be able to come back and loop back and close the loop and finish these projects that's what we're talking about. And so how do we do that on a regular basis? How do you identify what these former projects were, these former challenges are that you dropped the ball on? Well, I would suggest creating a master list. And if you have a master list of your master goals, then in that master list of goals, you're going to have sub goals that are going to be built off of that. And then each one of those goals you're going to have a list of required actions. And so once you're going through those lists of required actions and you meet that goal and cross it off, if it's a sub goal of another goal, if you have this master list, you could go back to your master list right now and look, okay, where am I at on this list? What was the first goal that I was supposed to get to 30 days ago? Because if you look at where you're at today, are you where you wanted to be 30 days ago? And if you're not, what are the actions that you haven't taken yet to get to where you'd like to be? And that's a reality that a lot of us don't look at. We don't go back and look and go, okay, well, what was my original goal? What are the list of required actions? What have I accomplished? And what hasn't been accomplished to get to this goal? Because what happens is I got stuck and I didn't get these last three things done because I didn't have one of the three things that I needed or that were required to accomplish this. And so I moved on to a new goal, a new skill set. When that happened, and this first project wasn't complete, then really you didn't follow through. You didn't have the follow through. You're not getting the results that you wanted to. So to be able to come back to that project and look at that master list and go, oh, there's just three things that I need to do. Boom, boom, boom. And then this project will be completed and this piece will be done. So I had to take a break and go, okay, I got to stop the fence project, okay, because I can't be outside smashing stuff around. So I'm going to stop. And actually we have like, right now it doesn't look so bad, but there's wind gusts up to like 50, 60 miles an hour outside. So it's kind of hard to unroll the fence. You know, some of the fencing I got comes in these big, huge rolls, and I got to roll it out along the fence lines and tie it all up. Well, when there's 60-mile-an-hour winds, that stuff just blows away. And the wind gets a hold of it, starts whipping around. So that's probably not a project for today, right? So this is just evaluation. So I look and say, okay, well, can I move back to that project today? Can I get back to it? I feel well enough, like as long as I'm not smashing things around, that I could probably tie up the fence. Well, then I look and I go, well, the conditions aren't proper. So what's the next thing? So then my next thing goes, okay, well, is there another activity that I'd like to get finished that I could do today? Yeah, I'd like to get a couple more days of snowboarding in this season, especially when there's nice snow, but I don't want to smash my head around. So that's out. Is there something else? Is there the next project? Yes, there's a couple like technical projects that I need to finish. Okay, let's get those finished today so that they're out of the way, they're off the list, and they're completed. So being able to identify the loopholes and the missed areas, and sometimes things like a challenge like this, like a bump on the head, something that slows you down, will actually help you get going faster. Why? Because sometimes we need to slow down to be able to speed up. It's like taking a step backwards to move forward. Sometimes you need to take that step back just to get a little bit of a different perspective so that you can move forward. So that's it. We just did a quick mindset call here this morning on a Mindset Monday. I'm looking forward to really connecting with you. I've been able to talk with Chris Schaus a few times this past week and connecting back and forth. And I think Leanne had a couple questions that she sent over this past week. So good to connect with her. I have a couple calls scheduled for this week. So looking forward to seeing what you guys are doing in your marketing and how you guys are taking it to the next level. And then hopefully, since the live cameras are now up. Oh, and I was going to show you guys this. So as I've been telling you guys, we've been dealing with the camera service. So I've got the cameras up, or two of them, right? So we have a third camera. I'm going to show you guys. This is so cool. So we have a third camera now. So I set up two on the outside, and one of the outside one needs to change. So if you guys can always go over to burtbledsoe.com, and you can do this right now until the service, until I get the other service, and then we'll put it up on we'll have a membership behind it. But it's just burtbledsoe.com /goat-cams, and you can go and see the two different streams. It's funny. She's got an outdoor. We got one outdoor, one pointing. So we got both of the outdoors. And then here, I'll show you guys this one. This is so we put both of the other cameras. Oh, let me come back to the Hangout. So let me show you guys. So we put both of the other cameras outside. So here, I'll show you. We have the outside cam. So this was the inside barn cam, and I moved it to like the milking station outside, so you could just kind of see into the pig area and a little into the goat area. So it's actually pointing, see these two tires over here on the left? These are those tires. So the camera's like somewhere behind this door over here on the milk stand pointing in. And then this one is up, and you can see Ham Hock. We built a new feeder. You can see the side of it right here. So I built this little bench that's split between the far section and this section that you could sit on, and then he could also eat, and he's just pulling his hay out. Now he's just laying there eating. So those are the first two cams, right? Well, we wanted to make it fun so you could see the animals running around outside, but also so that you could see them inside. So now this one has to be remounted because she moved around. So now we have, and let me see if I can hold it up to the camera. Oh, there. So you can see it's in black and white. So we have the two outside. You can see the timer is running up top, and the two inside. But let me show you what's cool about this inside camera now. So first, let me turn it up. So you can hear the baby goat. Oh, so there you can see the goat walking by. I know it's not very good because it's camera into the camera, but there you can see the baby goat just ran outside. So this camera, this new camera that we have on the inside of the barn, not only does it have the sound, but check this out. Now I can move. You can see the camera is moving up, and I can move it right and left. See? So I can now move the camera right and left and tilt from remotely. So we got the cameras set up. We just today have to get that third remote camera up onto the website feed and then actually get the feed going. Hopefully, I've been just going back and forth with the sales department. So hopefully they'll get that package up to get this done today, because they told me that my time is running out. So hopefully that package will go up today. They'll get me that package. Then we'll have all 3 cameras, hopefully, and this will keep growing. We'll have those cameras up. And this camera project will be done. Then the camera project will be done. The fence project is almost done. I'll finish that in the next couple of days, right? The next 2 days or so. I'll have to get a gate and then put the rest of that fence up. And then so what does that mean? Well, that means that we can then take the next step. Once the fence is in and the gates are put up, then we can literally expand. Then we can get cows. And the whole idea of this is so that we could become homesteading, so that we're providing all of this, like providing a majority of what we wanted and what we need for ourselves. So once that fence is in, we can get the cows that we've been looking at, which then that provides all of our beef for the entire year. It also gives us the opportunity to have cow milk if we want cow milk. We like goat milk, so we drink our goat milk. And since we just had a baby finally, now we have a surplus of milk. So we're getting goat milk again. So then we'll be able to have, and the pigs that we have right now are like pets, but we found a smaller breed of pig that we could use here on the homestead that is, that some people have, that you could use as like a potbelly type pig to have in your home. And like if people wanted to buy them as pets, but they're also a meat variety, so that we could keep our pet pigs that we have now as our pets. We can get one male pig to breed with them, with the girls. And then we can have the babies, and we'll literally have pork, right? So we now have beef, we'll have pork, we'll get the chicken area contained so that we can have our chickens and eggs, and also our beehives to have honey. So now again, we're starting to become again self-supporting, and this is what we wanted to do, was become a little bit more self-sufficient here out on the ranch, so that when people come to the ranch and they can have that experience of being on the farm and seeing the fun animals and seeing the llamas and the goats and the chickens and being able to watch those on the cameras and jump around. But for those people that come here and visit live, you can, in addition to having the experience of the fun of the animals, you can also have the experience of what it's like to live and eat and experience all of this in a fresh environment. And so just recently, Jessica and I have found a CSA, which is a community group that's just a little bit north of here, where one day a week we'll each go up. And because of the soil and because of the climate here, for where I live, it's just much easier for us to develop these animals as part of our business, right? As part of what we're doing here in the homestead is to build and grow and raise our animals for our meat production and for pets, for both. And so to be able to do that, we need to be able to have vegetables, right? We need to be able to do both. And so what I found is here on my property, to be able to grow the vegetables, I really will have to build a large structure, like a physical greenhouse, to be able to keep the animals out, and then the weather concern. If I don't have a physical, contained structure, it's going to be really, really hard with the wind and the elements to be able to grow food. Just because of where I'm located, I'm more mountainous. I'm not really down in the pasture land. So we teamed up with some people that have a CSA, a big CSA, where we can go and just work a few hours a week. So Jessica and I can both drive up. We can spend a few hours working on another farm, and we literally have all of our fresh veggies and fruits and veggies covered that that farm produces. And just for a trade of time, and the amount of time that if I spent that time here on the ranch cultivating the food, I wouldn't get that kind of yield, right? Not for probably a decade. And to me, I would rather spend that time and effort into the animals. So how does that look in your business? Well, what is those areas in your business that are the animals for you? What are the areas in your business where you could put some time and effort into that area and you would see a result because you have that real estate or that land, that crop is already set up? And then what's your vegetables? What's that thing that it's better to outsource, to better pay for, it's better to barter or trade for, because it's simply something that you don't have in your wheelhouse. It's just not something that's fertile in your world right now. And being able to identify those two different areas and move forward and really be able to delineate the two is going to help you as you move forward in your business. Why? Well, it's going to give you the opportunity to say, okay, what's going to give me the best yield, right? And really what it looks like, and maybe this is really another video that we should cut again, and I'll write this into our series, is let's talk about really what's the difference between passive and active marketing, and do you have both? And in the beginning, you most likely need to start with some active marketing so that you can see some results. And then over time, what I would say is you need to start sowing in and start putting in and building in some of those passive techniques so that over time you have a combination of both active and passive. And over time, the passive techniques are what's really going to yield you the best results, or what's really going to yield you the massive results that you're looking for over time in growth and development. And that's because those passive actions, they're done for that specific reason. They're done like planting a field. They're done to sow that seed so that you can come back later for that harvest. So that is it. You know, I never know, Whitman, that was good. I know everyone was giving me tips over in the chat on the concussion and everything. I never know if I have ringing in my ears because I have, I don't share this very often, but I have massive tinnitus. So when I was a kid, I did a lot of shooting and hunting. And as a young man, I worked in construction. And you would think that I would be more cognizant and more aware of wearing hearing protection more often, but I didn't. So for those of you that don't know, because you can't tell because you're not sitting in the room here with me, but for those of you that have met me, I yell a lot, right? Or it seems that I'm yelling a lot, or I'm very loud. And the reason that I'm really loud one of the reasons is I'm just a loud guy. Right? That's real. But the real reason that I'm so loud is because my tinnitus is so bad that I can barely hear most of the time. So I'm yelling so that I can hear what I'm saying, because if I can hear it, then I know you can hear it, which doesn't make any sense because everyone else can hear much better than me. So I've made conscious efforts to just bring my voice down to this. And you guys might not be able to tell because this is on video, but now I'm just talking at a regular decibel level. That's to me, it seems like I'm whispering. However, I know this is probably regular talking. So I've been learning over time, because of the ringing in my ears, Whitman, to be able to do like visual. I've been trying. Let me just say this. I'm putting effort in this area to be able to do visual cues with my wife, to watch as we're talking and we're out places. And I could tell that I'm getting loud because I could tell by the expression on her face. And then I know, hey, I need to tone it down a little bit and bring the volume of my voice down. And it's because I get excited. When I get excited, my energy level rises. And because I can't hear, that correlates to a massive level in volume. So I can't tell if there's a ringing in my ears, if it's any different than what it always is. So I'm not too concerned about it. It looks a lot worse on camera than it really is. When you see it in real life, it's just a little tiny cut, and it may leave a little mini scar, but they're so small that even if you sutured it up, like we put some of those little try to put like a butterfly Band-Aid, but the skin, even when it's clean, it doesn't really pinch together any more than that. That's just like the blood. So if it leaves a little scar, I'll be okay. I want to thank you guys all for your thoughts and your concern in that area. And for those of you that have any questions or concerns, you can hit me up on a Facebook message. Hopefully this morning at some point, I will be talking with the people at the camera place, and I'm going to try to get a hold of them this morning. And so hopefully this morning we'll see that third camera go up, but then also we'll have the application going for the We'll have the application going for the third camera, but also the application so that we can do private live streams from our phone, and then also for the for our private coaching. So I'm going to try to get that done. I have a couple calls this morning, and I'm going to try to get that done, and then really just kind of chilling around the house and getting some things done here while the of my head feels a little bit better. So that's all for a Mindset Monday. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. For those who are watching on YouTube, come over and visit us at www.freedailycoaching.com. We'll see you the next time.